Right, ladies and gentlemen, can we make a start, please? Right, before we have our formal meeting, can I ask George, would you like to say a few words, please?
Yes.
To start with?
The first thing is regarding my letter about the 40-mile-an-hour limit from the Edith Mead roundabout northwards up towards Fox and Goose. My preferred option really is a roundabout there, because people do slow up if they see a roundabout. The fact that there's not enough room there seems very strange when you go into Highbridge and you've got two roundabouts that are very much smaller. But it is strange that from the Edith Mead roundabout towards Edith Mead is 40 mile an hour and our side is unregulated. Now I know people may not take any notice if it is 40 mile an hour, but should there be an accident there, then I think that it gives the police another charge. They can add on, besides careless driving or something like that, they are exceeding the speed limit. So I think at least we should have a 40 mile an hour limit there.
Thank you for that comment, and it is an item that will be covered under our agenda item on highways.
I've got two more. One is my friend the badger hole down Crooked Lane. I did follow up, what's happening to it sort of thing, and in fact Liam Gill phoned back, and this was mid-November, and he said they had gone to get permission because there could be a badger there, and they were waiting for the reply back before they could start work. What he did say was that if it wasn't started before the end of November, in fact they couldn't do it until next July. So that's the state we're in. They haven't started it, so if they bothered with our letter last January, they could have given enough notice to actually do it from July to November this year. But so that's going to be like that for another, until July next year or something. And just lastly, the tree at Glebe Field, when I was researching Brent Knoll, I could see that there was a little placard at the base of the tree, but the tree is a long way from the road. So it would be nice, in fact, if the placard was put back on the railing so that people at least can see it when they're walking along there. Because Bob most probably knows it was put there. When was it put there?
The Coronation Oak.
Yes, Coronation Oak. And there is this little plaque which you can't see, but
perhaps we can ask when they do the work
to move the plaque at the same time. It shouldn't cost so much.
No. Okay.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, George. Mrs. Berry, would you like to say a few words, please?
Yes, it's just about the planning application for the new floodlights. In principle, we are happy, more than happy, to have reduced height of the floodlights, but there are a few concerns that we have that I think perhaps you need to be aware of. I've searched the website for details of the system and I have not been able to find great details. 6 poles instead of 4, fine, but what are the height of the 6 poles? I couldn't find anything that told us what the height was. What is the system going to be? Is there going to be clusters on the top of each pole, as there is at the moment? Will those clusters be shrouded so that the beam of the light goes down onto the court and doesn't aggravate local dwellings? Currently, when there's maintenance on the lights at the moment, the chappie that does the lights only has to have them out of what the norm would have been for our property to be flooded with lights in the bedroom and the lounge. It also makes it difficult to drive out of the driveway at night when you've got those lights on you. It's not all the time. It is when maintenance has happened and they've been skewed very slightly, but because they are so tall, a minimum skew will give a maximum display of light. So I would like you to consider the system that might be used. But in principle, yes, we'd love to see them lower than what they are at present.
Well, thank you for that comment, and could I also ask, bear in mind that we are an advisory body as opposed to a decision body.
Yeah, yeah.
If necessary, you could either email or send concerns to Sedgemoor Planning Committee.
Already done.
Very good. We will be discussing it obviously later on our agenda, and some of those items possibly will come out as clarification rather than talk about it now, if that's okay.
That's fine. Yeah.
Okay, thank you for that. Right, so we've got no other issues from the members of the public, so we'll go on to our formal meeting. Any apologies? Nobody. Any declarations of pecuniary or personal and prejudicial interests?
Just my normal one in terms of county and district and the plan applications.
Okay. Anybody else?
I've got a pen on, so...
Any personal?
Just their agenda at the moment.
Anything else? Good. Right, moving on. You all have copies of last meeting's minutes. Any errors, omissions or concerns? Can I have a proposal that they can be accepted then, please? And all those in favour? Good, thank you. I shall sign. What's the date today? You can do a carol sing. Thank you. Thank you. Right, moving on to planning considerations. The first one is 0717 00025, which is replacement of the existing floodlights at Brent Knoll and Mark Tennis Club. Now, I need to turn around to look at this. So,
That's the location.
that's the location plan. Can you just bring it down again, Owen, for a minute before we move on, please? Cynthia and myself did take the opportunity to go and have a look at the site prior to this meeting, just to familiarise ourselves with the proposed locations of the new lighting and get a better visual understanding of the way that the properties around the tennis club are situated. That at the moment is the existing. We have an expert in the corner, so I have to be careful. So if I get it wrong, please tell me. These are the existing towers. Have you got the next drawing by any chance?
Right, so we want the
Proposed.
Proposed.
That one, yeah. No?
That's useful because it's elevation, so that will...
We'll tell you how tall it is.
Yeah.
6.5 metres.
6.5 metres. So it's the proposed towers are going to be smaller than the existing. In height,
Yes.
by about 1.5 metres. I think that's about. No, we haven't got it. Can you go back to that last one, Owen, if you could, please, then? I think we can use that as a... So, the proposal is instead of having the towers there, there and there, is to have 3 across here, 3 across here, 1 in the middle between the 2 courts, which will have 2 lights on. The 2 corner ones will be single lights. And the idea is that that one in the middle, one would focus on one court and one would focus on the other. And they will be independently switchable, so you could have, if people are only playing on one court, they'll only have the lights on for that court. I guess, and I don't know, do you live somewhere here?
We are 99 Brent Street.
99, so
It's about
there, isn't
it?
that one.
Yes,
Yeah.
obviously.
So at the moment you're getting light that way, whereas at the moment it will be going that way. And I think the design is to focus onto the courts
Directional.
rather than anything else. So,
Yeah.
anybody else got any comments or questions on the council, that is?
Yep.
I think that's right.
I
Well,
don't
isn't it?
think
That's
we can
anything else to say?
Yes, that really covers it. Because, as you say, you just explained about the direction, but really and truly, until they're up in the centre.
Is there going to be a timing period when one set will be switched
They can
over? Are
switch.
they both going to stay on until such times as they prove the new set? Because that may be a problem.
I'm not aware of that.
And Mrs. Berry lives at 99 and she's right opposite the entrance. She won't see the ones in the front, she'll see the ones at the back. So it's imperative that they do shine down on
Well, as part of the planning
the
and the design, they've tried to minimise the light pollution around
Yeah.
the site.
I understand that. Well, I don't live anywhere near the connections.
I understand they're going to be quite directional.
Yeah, they're going to be more directional than the other ones.
Well, they're lower, aren't they?
And they're 1.5 metres down.
Yes, which shouldn't.
Mr Chairman, I would, when we discussed this, I think previously, we said they need to take into consideration the wishes of the properties surrounding the tennis courts. I realise though that we can't put that as an addendum to the planning application because we've got to see it directly as a planning application, haven't we? So all we can say is that probably we should write to the tennis court. My proposal is that we accept this planning application on the basis that it improves the lighting of the tennis courts, but then we send a separate letter to the tennis club, just emphasising the delicacy with which this has got to be done. Please would they work with them?
My understanding is that they've already approached all the immediate neighbours and they've discussed all the issues with them, Colin.
Yeah, well, what I'm saying is that I'd like it to be done formally rather so that they're aware of what we'd like them to do. It's not going to upset anyone at all, it's just confirming what our wishes are. That's subject to
the other issue that perhaps members ought to be aware of is that in the original planning consent there were time limitations put on for when the lights are on and have to be off, and obviously that clause will continue to apply.
There was a little bit of flexibility occasionally, wasn't there?
Yes.
Yeah.
May I ask, how high are they compared to the Rhine trees? Do we know that?
Didn't measure the trees. I would say they're probably going to be about the same height as some of them because you've got a leyland, I think they're leyland, on 2 sides at least.
Yeah.
But when we did meet the 2 members of the tennis club, Alison Hillier and Chris Hahn, is it? Yes. We did actually emphasise, didn't we, about the neighbours and that it was very important that that was got right, because obviously they're most affected. You know, so we did make that point at that meeting, but I think I think it's a good idea that we put that into some kind of yes, to write to them to exercise that.
So can we have a proposal, or Colin's effectively made a proposal to say we accept? Can I have a show of all those in favour? That's unanimous with an appropriate letter. Thank you very much.
Yeah.
Well, I think the next one is fairly quick and easy. Moving on to the Glevo. Has anybody got any objections to it being suitably trimmed?
No.
So therefore, can we have a proposal to say
Good arboreal practice.
good arboreal practice?
Yeah.
All those in favour? Thank you. Are we able to comment on George's idea that that plaque is moved? Obviously, it wouldn't be to the planners, but we could write to Greenscape.
I'm not quite sure where it is at the moment.
I'm not sure where it is. I've never seen it myself.
It's probably too far.
It's
away.
low down in
Is
the
it?
grass. Yeah.
Is it just hammered into the ground, is it, George?
Yeah.
Perhaps we need just to write a letter separately as a reminder under that to the agent on that one.
Yeah, because it'll have to be Greenstone Taylor anyway.
And then finally, we've got planning application 00021 for Brock House, which is somewhat confusing because on the drawing it says Coppers.
Yeah, it doesn't actually tell you where it is, but we.
So-
Introduction, we just.
So where it says Coppers is the property we're talking about,
Yes.
and the garage is there.
Yeah, and that's what they want. The application is for raising the
Burton Road, Colin.
the middle street.
Oh, that's Middle Street, yeah, thank you, thanks.
I don't think we've got any. Is there no objectors, are there, at the moment, like I said?
No, there was nothing online. No objections, not from neighbours or anyone. And I was looking at it, it's kind of fairly
I
straightforward.
believe on the submissions there was a photograph of the actual garage.
If anyone wants to see the plan, I've got it, please. Yeah.